Today I'm showing you some of my favorite summertime smart home automations. Let's go! Yo, what's up guys? I'm Shane and this channel focuses on helping you create a simple smart home with new videos and live streams every week. Now, in my opinion, automations are what makes a smart home actually smart. So let's talk about some of my favorite automations for summertime. Now I'm gonna show you these 5 automations and how everything is set up. Some may be set up in Apple Home, some may be set up in Homey or even using something else, but most of this can be accomplished regardless of what smart home ecosystem you prefer for creating your automations. And hopefully this will just give you some ideas. I do like to keep things simple, so we're not gonna get into anything too crazy today, just simple, useful automations that I really like and enjoy having, especially during the summertime. Automation should solve a real problem. Yes, these are first world problems, but still the best automations do solve a problem. And one of the problems that I've been wanting to solve for a long time is some way that helps me not forget to cover my grill after using it. After you grill, you have to let it cool down before you can cover it up, and I always forget to do that. So let's automate a reminder. I do have a smart grill that does connect to Wi-Fi, which I love. It's a Weber Genesis smart grill, but unfortunately there's no way that I've found to integrate into my smart home for automations. So what I'm gonna do is simply add a little contact sensor on the front door. Every time I use the grill, I do have to open up this little door to turn the gas on. I'm just gonna use a little Aqara contact sensor for this. There are multiple ways to create the automation, but like I said, I'm gonna keep it simple. So I'm going to just create an automation in the Aqara app that says when the door is open, wait 2 hours, and then send me a notification as a reminder to cover the grill. Problem solved. I do have this set so it only runs once a day, and then it will turn off the automation. That way I don't get multiple notifications every time every 2 hours after I open and close it. It'll just happen once for the day. And then each morning we'll just reset the automation with another automation that turns it back on so I can get a notification if I use the grill that day. Now, while we're talking about grilling, let me show you something that's been a bit of a game changer for me this summer from today's sponsor. This here is the Govee Smart Wireless Meat Thermometer. It connects via Bluetooth up to 500 feet or Wi-Fi if you want unlimited range. So I can monitor everything from inside the house or on the go. The app is super beginner friendly. You pick your meat, set your target temperature, pretty basic stuff. Now I do have a smart grill, but I hate dealing with those wired probes. The wireless ones are just way better and easier to use. It uses dual sensors for both internal and ambient temperatures, charges in just 25 minutes and runs for up to 48 hours, so it's perfect for those long smokes. The magnetic base has a bright LCD screen, and the built-in buzzer, which is very loud, lets you know when your food is done. It's waterproof and dishwasher safe. If you're grilling this summer, it's definitely worth checking out. I'll drop a link below. It's currently on sale on Amazon, so check it out if you're interested, and thanks to Govee for sponsoring this video. My next automation is for helping out in the brutal South Carolina heat. Actually, it's sort of a series of automations right now I want to talk about. I recently installed some new smart shades throughout my entire living room and dining room area. And with so many windows on this side of the house that just gets blasted with sun every day, my house can really heat up. But I do still like to enjoy natural light. So I just created a series of time-based automations that open and close throughout the day. All of them open at sunrise to give me some light early in the morning. Then at about 8 a.m., one of the shades closes partially, still letting in some light, but blocking out most of the heat. And then at 1 p.m., the living room shades all close partially until the sun passes at about 6 p.m. And then I have them all open back up to let in the light until sunset, when they all close all the way for the night. These automations have really helped to keep the house cooler, but still lets us enjoy some natural light throughout the day. Took a little bit of trial and error, just kind of figuring out when the sun was hitting certain sides of the house and everything like that. But once I kind of figured that out and set up these automations, it's been awesome and really does keep the house much cooler. If you want more information about the shades that I'm using and just installed, I'll put a link somewhere up here for that video, or you can check out the links in the description. Now, on top of the automations for my shades, I also have a series of automations that turn on fans when the temperature gets too hot in many of my rooms. Most of my rooms have ceiling fans, and for those that don't, like here in my studio, I'm just using the Govee tower fan that cuts on when the temperature in here gets too hot, which does happen pretty often. On the back porch, I have an automation that detects when a person is detected, and if the temperature is above 85 degrees out there, it turns the ceiling fan on, and then when no one is detected, it will turn the ceiling fan off. This one is nice because sometimes we forget to turn off the fan when we're out there. So I set up this automation in Homey using the person detection from one of my Unifi cameras. You could also use a good presence sensor or something like that as well to accomplish the same thing. And speaking of the back porch, what is summertime without a little bit of chilling on the back porch with your friends? So I created a back porch guest scene. This is just a simple scene that turns on some of the lights on my back porch, and it turns on my TV, which opens up the TV lift cabinet that I have back there. Now, I took this scene a step further by creating a back porch guest dummy switch. When I toggle the switch on, it activates that scene, and when I turn it off, it turns off all those same lights and the TV. So why use a dummy switch here instead of just the scene? I'm glad you asked. By having a back porch guest dummy switch that I turn on and off when we have our friends over, I can improve some of my other automations by using that switch as a condition. For example, we like to maybe turn off all the outdoor lights every night at 10 p.m. Well, now I can add my guest dummy switch as a condition. So every night at 10 p.m., turn off all the lights, but only if that back porch guest switch is off. I have another automation that turns on the porch light to like a really bright white whenever the back door is opened, and it turns off when it's closed. Again, adding my dummy switch to this automation as a condition ensures that we don't get hit with that bright white light every time the door is open if we're hanging out back there with guests and stuff like that. Now my automations only run when I want them to. Nothing's worse than hanging out with your friends and one of your automations runs, turning off all your lights and stuff like that. No one wants that. So dummy switches or other conditions like this can be a great way to make sure your automations run only when you want them to. This next one is a good automation for the whole year really, but especially during summertime. We have 2 gates to our backyard, and naturally these gates get opened and closed a lot more during the summer months. And with 2 dogs, we want to make sure that we always know when a gate is open so no one accidentally lets the dogs out. I put little Aqara door sensors on each gate, kind of like I did for the grill. I got these little waterproof cases though for these and put them in it. This has worked great for years now. When either gate is open, I can get notifications and stuff, but I also have a little night light that turns red. This is a visual cue for everyone in the house. On top of that, I created a personal shortcut to intercom a message to all the home pods downstairs and even here in my studio. Unfortunately, we can't run personal automations utilizing the intercom feature in our HomeKit automations. So I'm using an automation server in the PushCut app to do this. This runs on an old iPhone that I've dedicated to running this automation server. When either gate is open, HomeKit runs the automation that sends a webhook. This webhook sends the message to my automation server, which runs the personal shortcut on that dedicated iPhone. And then we get that announcement on all of the HomePods that I've specified, letting everyone know that the gate has been opened or closed.
The right gate is open. The right gate is closed.
Our next automation is for closing the garage door. Now, I hate it when I forget to close the garage door at night, which honestly has not happened in a long time since I'm using a smart garage door opener. I'm using the Tailwind garage door controller to make my garage door smart, and it works great. I'm very happy with it. I think I have a 10% discount code for that, which I'll put down in the video description if you're interested. But anyways, with summertime here, you may be spending more time in your garage, whether that's working on projects or yard work or just having a few cold ones with the fellas from the neighborhood. Now, I have had my garage set to automatically close at 10 p.m. every night for years. Very simple automation. In the event that I forget to close it, it will just close at 10 p.m. But as I have been in the process of giving my garage a really big makeover, I anticipate I'll be spending much more time out here. So I'm gonna modify my garage door automation to include a condition similar to what we did earlier for the back porch lights. So this will just say, you know, close the garage door every night at 10 p.m., but only if no one is in the garage. So you could use motion sensors, lights, or cameras, or whatever, or dummy switches even as your conditions if you want for this. Whatever works best for you and your setup. I'm gonna put at least one camera, maybe some presence sensors, smart lights, and just a bunch of other stuff in there. This way, if I'm out there doing anything and have the garage open on those nice summer nights, it's not gonna close when I don't want it to. Like I said, the garage is almost done, which means a new video is coming soon on the whole project and all the smart tech and automations and stuff that I plan to put in here. Make sure you subscribe if you don't want to miss that and other smart home projects coming soon. Let me know which one of today's automations you found helpful, or if you have any good summertime automations that you'd like to share. Please do so down below in the comments. I know you guys have some great automation ideas and I'd love to hear them. If you want to check out the full review that I did of that garage door opener that I'm using, I'll put a link to that right over here. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.